What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to my shitty kitchen. I realize it's been a while since I've posted, and I'm sorry about that, but with my new living situation, I'm gonna work on getting stuff up a lot more often. Anyway, today we're making what turned out to be the best mac and cheese I've ever made in my life. It's based on a recipe from Chef Kevin Gillespie, a chef whom I've got a lot of respect for. Traditionally, if you're making mac and cheese from scratch, you'd make a cheese sauce from bechamel, which is one of the 5 mother sauces. Like Chef Kevin, though, I've never been able to produce a satisfactory product. It's always grainy, it takes too long to make, and it's a super fragile sauce. The solution to this is to use Veveeta cheese. You know, the giant blocks of semi-liquid room temp cheese that you walk past in the supermarket, that stuff. Anyway, it works well for this because it has a stabilizing agent in it that keeps the sauce from breaking. Plus, it's rich and delicious. To make this dish, you'll need 1 pound of Veveeta cheese, 1 box of your favorite pasta, I'm using medium shells, about 4 cups of heavy whipping cream, a tiny pinch of nutmeg. I added this because traditionally you'd use nutmeg in a bechamel sauce and it gives us a flavor besides just cheese. You'll also need salt, about 3 cups worth of mixed cheeses, which can be whatever you want, and a protein of your choice. I'm using bacon because I couldn't find smoked cheddar at the store, and smoked flavor is amazing on just about everything. Now that we've got our ingredients, let's get started. First, preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, set a pot of water to boil for your pasta. Don't put your pasta in the water before it's boiling. Also, you want to use cold water. Hot water sits around in a tank all day and gathers impurities. Next, while your water is heating up, cut your Veveeta into cubes. It's important to do this with your shittiest knife because fat absolutely destroys knife blades. Now that I think about it, I have no idea why I didn't use a butter knife for this. Once your cheese is cubed, your oven should be preheated and ready to go. Layer out your bacon on a baking sheet and you can throw it in, or you can go the extra mile by drizzling some honey and black pepper on it. Your choice. Once you've decided, the tray goes into the oven for about 10 minutes or so. Just make sure to check it often. By the time all of this is done, your pasta water should be at a roiling boil. That means a bunch of bubbles are coming to the surface. Add a little bit of salt to the water and drop your pasta in. Keep in mind while cooking the pasta that you just want to get it started. You're going to be cooking it twice, so you don't want to overdo it in this phase. Get it to just under al dente, which means it'll still be a little bit crunchy. Drain it, don't wash it, and then set it aside. Now that your pasta's done and cooked and you've freed up the one good burner on your tiny apartment stove, it's time to work on our cheese sauce. Pour 4 cups heavy cream into a pan, add your pinch of nutmeg, and heat to a simmer over medium-high heat. Once it simmers, cut the heat down to medium-low. It's extremely important to keep an eye on this because cream can separate if you get it too hot. Also, it'll boil over and make a huge mess. Once you've got your simmer going, get out the Veveeta you cubed and start dropping them in a few at a time while continuously stirring. It'll take a while for them to melt, so be patient and resist the urge to turn up the heat. Once all of your cubes are melted, your sauce might look a little thin. Don't panic. As long as it sticks to the back of a spoon, you're good to go. This is called nappe, and it more or less describes the thickness of the sauce. Regardless, you can now add in your 3 cups or so of your other cheeses. Stir these in until they melt together. As a quick note, don't use the powdery grated Parmesan in this. It'll make it super grainy. After your cheese sauce is homogeneous and mixed together, you can fold in your pasta. By now, your bacon should be long done and you can pull that out, chop it into small pieces, and mix it with the pasta and cheese. Once that's done, transfer the mixture from the pot to a baking dish and bump your oven temperature up to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Before throwing the mac and cheese in the oven, I'm going to top mine with some salt and vinegar potato chips. You can use pretzels, Cheetos, Goldfish, Doritos, or whatever you want. I'm using salt and vinegar because A, they're the best potato chip on the planet, and B, we've got an over-the-top amount of fat in this dish, and the vinegar in the chips will help brighten things up and cut through that so you're not just tasting cheese. Once you're satisfied with the toppings, chuck the whole thing in the oven until the topping is brown and the sides are bubbly. It should look like this. Now, as a side note, my chips almost burned and some of them got a little too brown for my liking. Just make sure to check your oven often so this doesn't happen. I got sidetracked and let them go a bit too long. But that's about it. Pull the finished product out of the oven, plate it up, and consider dropping some greens over the top for color and a little extra flavor. I used chives here and they were the perfect addition. They brightened up the plate and gave the dish a bit of much needed onion flavor. But that's all for now, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something new. If you did, don't forget to like the video down below, subscribe for more cooking content, and if you make this dish, tweet me pictures at myshitty kitchen. We'll see you all at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.